everyone, welcome to our presentation. Today I'm here with Sebastian to talk about a very important topic, how to build safe digital relationships with people from other countries. Sebastian, thank you for joining us.
Hi, Daisy. Thank you so much for having me here. I'm really excited to talk about this topic because it's very relevant today and for our current society, especially with how are we connect with others through the internet, right?
Let's start with the basics. What are digital relationships?
Well, for me, digital relationships are connections that we build with people that can be from here, from the same country, or from other places of the world. And of course, these relations gotta be by internet through online platforms like social media, messaging apps, or websites. The, the main point that I want to spot here is that these kind of relationships can be friends, can be friendly, or can be for language exchange or for professional connections, right? There are some others that can even result in a romantic way, but it depends on the people, right? And the intentions that they have. They often start through short conversations, short exchange of information, without ever meeting face to face. In this case, I would like Daisy to mention something about how I think or how I perceive that these social media are designed, because most of the platforms are made first of all to make them enjoyable for other people. So it is important for them to engage the people that are using this kind of social media, right? But in this part, we need to take into account that we got to act in a responsible way. We gotta have a responsible interaction with the other people that are at the other side of the screen. Of course, in this interaction, we're gonna have a feedback, right? We're gonna be giving information, but we're gonna be receiving information. The visual aids that we can find that are so important for them, I think that they could be divided into type of visual aids, the good ones and the bad ones, because it also depends on the content that they have. Because most of the people that shares different posts, that shares different photos or something like that, that kind of photos or posts are playing before. You know what I mean? Because most of the photos or the posts that we can find are playing by getting more likes, getting more viewers, getting more followers. And there are people that used to do a lot of different things just to get new followers. And they start to share photos that are out of the tone, something like that, just for having followers.
Sebastian, and why do people seek to build these kinds of relationships with people from other countries?
Well, there are a lot of reasons. I think that, well, in my case, I think that the most probably is about to learn something about different cultures, or these ones who wants to improve their language skills, or just find some people that have similar interests, right? It is also a way to make the world feel smaller and connected. For instance, once I met a friend that is from Canada in these messaging apps, and nowadays we talk every week.
That sounds amazing. But let's talk about something serious now. Why is safety so important in digital relationships?
Well, for this section, I would like to bring to this interview a very common case that it has a movie on Netflix, and it's the Gypsy Rose case, because safety is extremely important, right? Because on internet we can find people that don't have good intentions, right? And one of these powerful examples is the case of the Gypsy Rose, because she was involved in a toxic relationship. Of course, we all know that it was due because her mom has she isolated from the society, So she got manipulated for a boy that she met on a social media that is, in this case, is Facebook, and she meets that person and they started a relationship, a romantic relationship. But that relationship took like a turn in something very tragic because at the end she was talking with him about designing a plan about how to kill her mother because she was oppressed by her mom. But at the end, she found that that wasn't the way for solving that kind of problems because this is an example that shows us how can people be vulnerable if they are not cautious, right?
That's a very intense case. And what should people learn from it?
What I think that people should learn is that we have to protect ourselves because we are not sure at all about the other person that we are sharing, that we are talking, that we have a relationship. We don't know who is the real he or she that we're talking with. Also, we need to protect our personal information. We should avoid sending photos and sharing information about the place where we live, the things what we do, and we gotta be moderate in that kind of situations where we are sharing a lot of information because most of people likes and love to share all the things, all of the parts of the life that they're doing day by day, right? So, and when we're meeting someone new and we feel like show off or that we are saying something strange, something weird, we gotta trust in our instincts.
Okay, let's move to something lighter. What kind of people would you like to meet online?
Well, I would love to meet people like me, first of all, because I think that I perceive myself as someone that is so enjoyable and friendly and respectful. I'm so kind, and I loved to talk about everything. And of course, I loved playing the guitar. I love music. I would like to meet someone that shares the same interests that I have because I'm always trying to learn something new. And what about having a person that we're talking, that we enjoy talking with him, and that person teaches something new every day, or you're learning something new about a culture. In this case, that's that's the way that I would like to meet another people online.
Well, Sebastian, I see a picture of you in a really interesting place. Can you tell us where you were and what we were doing?
Okay, in this picture, this is one of the memories that I have that I remember the most. And here I was in Bogota. Here I was with one of my best friends, and this guys was a boy band that we were attending to a concert. We're from Barranca Bermeja, and we traveled to Bogota. That day we were 2 days. The first day we were traveling, and at the same day that we arrived to Bogota, we were attending to the concert. So we were so excited because I met this band and they turned into the most reproduced band that I have on my music app. And then I have the opportunity to meet them face to face. That was amazing because I love the music that they produce, and that was stunning for me, right?
I love this next picture. It looks a fun moment. What's the story behind it?
Well, the story that these pictures have behind is that we were in a town that is called Zapatoca, and we found a place that is kind of a forest. And well, we perceive that it's so similar to a USA forest, but in a town here in Colombia. So we love it. And the reason why we were hugging a tree is because my mom, since always, she have been believing that if you hug on a tree, you can share your bad energy or your negative energy to the tree, and you're gonna receive the positive energy that the tree has. I don't know if that works, but she loved to do that, and that's why we were hugging this kind of tree.
Okay, Sebastian, it's an excellent activity. Did you meet any people from other countries while you were there?
Of course, yes, because since we were waiting to the enter of this concert, here I was at the Atanasio Girardot Stadium in Medellin. I was attending to a concert of my favorite band here in Colombia, that is Morat. And in that moment, we were waiting since 10 a.m. until 6, 7 p.m. for the aperturing of the doors for this concert. And we were sitting and we had the opportunity to interact with people from Venezuela. I met an Australia guy, and in that moment, I had the opportunity to improve my English. Well, not to improve, but test how was my English level in that moment. And I felt so powerful. I can say I feel proud of myself because I was capable to hold a whole conversation in English with someone who don't speak Spanish. So that was interesting, right?
A good experience. Any final thoughts to wrap up the presentation?
Yeah, for finishing this interview, I think that the main things that I want to spot is that the digital relationships can be amazing, right? But they have to be built on trust, on respect, and safety. We also have always to take our time, never rush up in people that we don't know, and make sure to feel comfortable with the person who we are sharing or we are spending our time. The internet is a big place that we can see that is safety, but most of the times it can towards dark, right? So of course we have the opportunity to interact with other people and share new new concepts, new experiences. But the main point is that we need to protect ourselves. So if we are meeting people from other parts of the world, we need to take care in that kind of signs when we notice that this guys or that girl is acting in a strange way. We gotta take care about that and trust in our instincts.
Thank you so much, Sebastian. And thank you all for listening to our presentation. See you next time.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.